Hey guys, Czar here. Hope all is well. It's 10:24 a.m. So we're almost an hour into the New York session here, and I'm watching. Let's go back to the 30-minute chart. Rejection here after this clean traffic zone, relatively clean, rejecting from support that was formed overnight and in the Asian session this morning after this, prior to this big run up, and then this rejection down. This is the Nasdaq, S&P. Rejecting, so actually penetrated into a fresh zone and now rejecting and back into range again. And then on the Dow, rejecting, didn't actually tap the support, doesn't have to, with the other two due to the tight correlation, pardon me. It's fine to have two of those that are doing the same thing on support while the other one behaves identically. See this candle here, rejection, bottom wick, call it a bottoming tail if you like, same thing here. And then of course over in the Nasdaq, something very similar here as well, but from support. I'm going to be watching the Dow on this, as a matter of fact, the one that has the whitest candle, if you will. In other words, the strongest bullish body on the candle. And I'm going to drop this zone down here for now. It may or may not become valid. And it doesn't need to. It's what I'm using as a guidepost, if you will, or a benchmark, given what I saw over here on the S&P. You see that there? And over here on the Nasdaq. So back again to the Dow. We'll watch this together. I'm going to put you on pause for now, and I'll bring you back and we'll talk more about it. Pause. And back. While I have you here, guys, let's take a look at the three sisters. I want to show you this as well. All three are have sold off fairly significantly here. Let me just try to equalize these a little bit for visual purposes. I think most people relate a little bit better or easier when you see it kind of like this. All right, so the VWAP is that blue line in the middle. We are 1 1/4 standard deviations on the yellow line there, so we're above that on all three of them now, moving our way back towards VWAP. Call it a VWAP reversion if you like. And the Dow would still have, if it were to tap it, would still have about 70 points to go. The Nasdaq would have about 25 points to go to get back to VWAP. Doesn't mean it's going back there. It's just something to take note of. It's information to add to the confluence factors. Now, the big trading screen. This is the daily on the top left-hand side, which is an inside bar, an inside candle to Fridays. Today is Monday, May 15th. So the high is lower than Friday's high, and the low is higher than Friday's low. Inside candle, basically indecisive with a bearish tilt for now. It was a bullish slant earlier today, by the way, not in the New York session, but in the Asian overnight, and even for part of the European session early on. And so now on the 30-minute, we are having this rejection for now off of this newly found support level, and we're seeing, as I mentioned, on the S&P inside bar as well. On the daily up here in the top left, rejection from actual support, and then on the Nasdaq, we have an inside bar as well. Very indecisive, basically a doji candle here. And then also fairly violent rejection off of support that occurred at the same time as the others. So now I'm watching the Dow. We now have the beginnings of a break of structure here on the 2-minute chart. See that there? Just breaking now as we speak. This is a 20 EMA. I'm going to put the VWAP on now. Remove the EMA and put the VWAP bands. Boom. Now we can watch this happen together. 1 minute and 22 seconds left in the 30-minute candle and in the 2-minute candle. So they will end at the same time. And the new candle will begin at the same time on the 30 as well as on the 2. Put you on pause for a moment and bring you back. And 1 second left, it's over. There you go. Now the new candle has begun. You see it over here on the 2-minute, pulling back a little bit. And now on the 30, So here's what I'm going to do, guys. This will be a buy stop right here. This will be a buy stop. This will be a zone reversion trade if we get taken in here. I would like more of a pullback, quite frankly. But you don't always get what you want. There we go. And I'd be looking for just a quick one here. 25 points, guys. Let's make that 30. Just looking at proportion here. Okay, bear with me. Just making sure my own brackets are good to go. 2-minute chart. 2-minute chart Dow. Buy stop. Here we go. Targeting 325. This will be the second trade of the day, assuming we get triggered in here. First trade was actually in the UK session, the Europe session. It was in the pre-New York, so it was just over an hour, I think, before New York opened. So call it the pre-New York session. I'll put you on pause for now, guys. I don't want you to grind through this. If I have anything to add in terms of commentary, I'll bring you back. Pause now. All right, you can see we actually did pull down a little bit more, which is what I wanted, and that's working out fairly well for now. Looking to push up now. Wondering if we can get that breakthrough. And you'll see that will coincide with this breakthrough right here. See where my cursor is on the right-hand side? Notice where the cursor is, or the line is, over on the left-hand side. It's breaking the high of the prior candle. So we get that confirmation. This is what a zone reversal trade would look like, right? It's putting in a new support, nice bottoming wick, bottom tail. Good, I want to see this pull back more, and then a break above. And then I'm not asking for a lot here, just the 30 points that I mentioned. It's only a part of this big body you see on the 30-minute chart over here. Pushing up a little bit now. Copy and paste. Here we go, guys, getting ready to push up. Here we go, and I'm in. Just got triggered in now. Hopefully this will be fairly quick. Again, second trade of the day. These zone reversals can be a little tough mentally for a lot of traders, and including me from time to time, because of the nature of the trade. It's a zone reversal. In other words, the trend leading into this has been down, and you see all this weakness. Prices are hitting new lows and 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 new lows, and all of a sudden we're going long. Isn't that fighting the trend? Well, in a way it is. That's why it's a zone reversion, or a zone reversal trade, I should say, not to be confused with a VWAP reversion trade, which this is actually as well. This is reverting back to VWAP. But I'm going to stick on the zone reversal idea here, because one concept at a time. But this is a combination of zone reversal and VWAP reversion. It's reverting back to the volume weighted average price. Or at least that's the idea. If it doesn't work, then it didn't happen, right? So we're just managing our price action. We're managing our mental game. We're managing our emotions in the face of something that is very unnatural to do. A lot of traders, as I mentioned, do struggle with reversal trades. because it goes against what they've been seeing. Their brain has been taught in the last, call it hour and a half, in this case 1 hour, that price goes down and doesn't stop. Price goes down, it doesn't stop. Why am I going long now? Right? And so that can make it very challenging. And you can see here, I mean, it's not exactly, we're not exactly running away with it here, are we? Quite the contrary. This could be my first loss in a while. Yeah, so this thing might want to go back for a retest, and if it does, the retest the lows here. If it does, then this will be a loss. Here it comes. Looks like that's the way this is going to play out. Sometimes you get a feeling, especially with that topping tail there, that's what it wants to do. So when we got this break of structure, and then it comes immediately back in, it's never a good sign for the trade. But I don't want to give this trade more room here on the loss. What's frustrating is that the NAS is rallying to VWAP, the S&P is rallying to VWAP, and it's the Dow that is not playing yet. Now, hopefully, these two will bring this one up, and that does sometimes happen. You can see it's trying to pull it up here. I'm going to stay with this. I'm at break even now. Tempting just to get out and take the break even, but I'm not going to. I'm going to stick with this idea. If it turns into a routine loss, I'm cool with that. Patience. So what's playing against this trade right now is the fact that we've just tapped VWAP on the NAS, just to the pip, right? Or to the point, if you will. And we've essentially tapped VWAP on the S&P, and there's usually a pullback when that happens. And so that could definitely bring down the Dow. See, the Dow's the one that's lagging. So I'm actually long the weakest of the three. And so this thing is likely to sell off just as these do right now and result in a loss. But we'll see. Sticking with it here. Patience now. Now the Dow's the strongest. The Nasdaq's actually selling off. See this here? Nas selling, Dow rallying. That's a divergent move. Doesn't give me a lot of confidence in the move, quite frankly, but let's see if we can pop this thing up and get this trade done. Moving my stop to just under break even, guys. Tightening this thing very early to 5 points. It's a 5-point loss or risk for a 30-point win now. Patience. To show you this, if we can get the Nasdaq to rally as well and the S&P, that will be helpful. The idea to get this thing back to VWAP, or at least pretty close to it. Patience now. Clean that up a little bit. Oops. Sorry, I just wanted to see something there and I moved the marker, put it back. So there's a 5-point risk on this now, guys. If we drop back, I'll take that 5-point hit, no problem. Indecisive daily, see that, the doji up here? Again, inside bar. Friday was an inside, was almost an inside, not quite, but it was an indecisive candle as well, with the body closing very small and with virtually no amplitude, and in the dead center, essentially, a little bit higher than center of the wicks. Patience now, guys, for that 30 points. Hopefully this trade makes perfect sense to you. One more push. Let's see if we can get this thing. Second trade of the day, second trade of the week. Today's Monday. Stop to break even now. There's no risk on this trade. And 30 points, guys. Thank you for staying with me. I really appreciate you, your support. If you don't mind clicking that like button, it really helps a lot, apparently, to get the news out. I'm new to this whole social media thing, only been here on Twitter and on YouTube since October, and you guys have been amazing. I appreciate all the follows, the likes, the notification bells, all that good stuff. Have an amazing day, and we will probably see you this afternoon. Take care now. Bye-bye.